Welcome to Relationship Exposed. In today's video, we unravel a story that begins on a day meant for celebration, a birthday, but spirals into a haunting mystery of betrayal, abandonment, and emotional reckoning. My name is Ayan, and the story I'm about to tell you isn't fiction. It's the unraveling of a life I once thought was perfectly stitched together. A birthday is supposed to be a day of love, celebration, and reflection, a moment to feel appreciated by the people who matter most. For me, my 34th birthday was supposed to be just that, but instead, it became the day my world split in two. It all began so innocently. My wife Zoya had been unusually excited the week leading up to it. She kept dropping hints, how she had something planned, how this birthday would be unforgettable. And I believed her. I had no reason not to. After all, we'd been together for 7 years, married for 6. We had built dreams from scratch, sitting in college cafes, talking about our future, holding hands through failed job interviews and late-night ramen dinners. We were partners, soulmates. Or so I thought. That morning, I woke up alone in bed. But next to me was a small note on crisp white paper, placed gently on my pillow. Her handwriting danced across the page. Happy birthday, John. Wear the blue shirt I love. Be ready by 7 p.m. I have a surprise waiting. Love, Zoya. My heart swelled. The blue shirt. It was the one I wore on our first date, the one she always complimented. My mind drifted through possibilities. Was it a getaway, a private dinner? Maybe even something bigger. We had been talking about starting a family. The workday dragged on. I was distracted, smiling like a schoolboy. I left early, raced home, showered, and carefully put on the shirt. The moment I walked in, the apartment was dimly lit. Candles flickered. The smell of freshly cooked butter chicken wafted through the air, my favorite. A soft playlist was humming in the background, our songs. Every detail was perfect, and then she walked out of the kitchen. Zoya looked stunning. A soft, flowing black dress, her hair cascading over her shoulders. But it wasn't just her beauty that struck me. It was something in her eyes, a strange mix of calm and distance. Her smile didn't reach her eyes, but I ignored the unease. I told myself maybe she was nervous. Maybe she had something emotional planned. I forced the thoughts away and focused on the moment. We ate in near silence. She barely touched her food. I cracked a few jokes. She chuckled politely. Something was off. After dinner, she handed me a box, carefully wrapped, like she had taken time, maybe too much time. I tore off the paper to find a small velvet case. Inside, keys. I looked up at her, confused. What's this? Her eyes were glassy. Her voice was calm, almost rehearsed. It's to a new apartment. For you. I laughed nervously. What do you mean for me? She exhaled softly, then said words that cracked open something in my chest. I'm leaving, Ayan. I blinked. My mind didn't compute. Leaving? What? For where? She folded her hands, avoiding my gaze. I've met someone else. I'm in love. I didn't want to hurt you on your birthday, but I also couldn't keep lying. I planned everything. The dinner, the setup, the keys. It's a clean break. Everything in the apartment is yours. I've moved out. The air left my lungs. For a moment, I couldn't even speak. My ears rang. I was floating in disbelief, trying to make sense of the words coming out of her mouth. This couldn't be real. Not tonight. Not like this. Who is he? I finally asked, my voice barely audible. Someone who understands me, she whispered. I could have thrown the table across the room, could have screamed, could have begged, but I didn't. Instead, I stood up slowly, walked to the door, grabbed my coat, and left. I didn't go back to our home. I went to the address listed on the keys. It was a furnished apartment she had prepared for me. Birthday balloons still bobbed in the air, a cake in the fridge, plates, cutlery, a framed photo of us on the shelf. She had thought of everything except my heart. That night, I sat in the living room staring at nothing. I didn't cry, I didn't scream, I just existed. Hours passed like seconds, then like days. My phone buzzed endlessly. Birthday wishes, friends, family. I texted back, forced laughter into voice notes. I lied. She's out of town. She surprised me with a new place. Yeah, it's been emotional. They didn't know just how emotional. Over the following days, I avoided our old apartment. I couldn't bear the ghost of her in the walls, the scent of her shampoo, the mug that said, Mrs. Khan. So I stayed in the apartment she had left me, like some parting gift wrapped in betrayal. And I fell apart. Nights blurred into mornings. I stopped going to work. I didn't eat. I reread every message we'd ever exchanged. I searched her social media for clues. I questioned every conversation we had the past 6 months. Was she already gone before she left? Then, 2 months later, came the final gut punch. A mutual friend sent me a photo. No context, just one image. Zoya, in Paris, holding hands with an older man, a man I recognized, a business associate, someone she had mentioned during those conferences. He had a wife, a family, but in that picture, it was just them. Smiling, in love. So that's what those late meetings were. That's why she said she was too tired to talk, too overwhelmed to try for children. She wasn't tired, she was somewhere else, with someone else. The pain turned into rage, the betrayal into resolve. I began to pick myself back up. I reconnected with friends. I started going to therapy. I worked out, ate better. I learned to sit with the silence, and then I started to love it. And then, 6 months later, she came back. I opened the door to find her standing there. Zoya. Except, she wasn't the woman who had left me. Her face was paler, her frame thinner, her eyes, once sharp and confident, were hollow. Ayan, she whispered. I made a mistake. I didn't move. I just looked at her, letting her explain the inevitable. He used me. He was married, said he'd leave her, but never did. When I told him I left you, he called me naive. When I ran out of money, he stopped answering. He left me in Paris, alone. I had to borrow money to get back. I came home because you were always home for me. I laughed, not out of humor, but out of disbelief. No, Zoya, I said, voice calm. You made a choice, not a mistake. A mistake is tripping over something. You planned this. You wrapped heartbreak like a birthday gift. You burned down a home and now expect to find warmth in its ashes. Her lips quivered. She cried. But I didn't offer her a tissue. I didn't step aside. I simply said, home isn't a place you burn down and expect to still find warm. And I closed the door. That night, I slept soundly. Not because the pain had vanished, but because I had stopped carrying it like it was mine to hold. This isn't just a story about betrayal, it's about awakening, rebirth, rediscovery. The worst birthday gift I ever received was the one that exposed the truth, but sometimes, the truth is the only gift that sets you free. If you've ever faced a heartbreak like this, if you've ever had your world crumble from beneath your feet, comment below, share your story. Let someone else know they're not alone in their pain. Because here at Relationship Exposed, we don't just tell stories. We expose the cracks people hide behind smiles. And we celebrate not just the survival, but the rising. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories that uncover what happens behind closed doors.